Richard Rodriguez states that incorporating a student's private self, or what he would define as private, such as the student's family language, into school, is an effort that misunderstands the public uses of schooling and trivializes the nature of intimate life. Does school really function to build a public identity? Does it therefore inherently seek objectivity and standardization as an institution? What is the criteria for the assessment of the public identity? How much should students be alienated from their agency in forming this public or social self? What happens when something private becomes introduced into the system of a social institution?
No matter whichever school it is. Because when I look at a child, I look at a child in what he's going to become.
Math demonstrates that if you take a seat away from a qualified person because of their race in order to give it to somebody else, there's a winner and there's a loser.
And tell me what their interests are and where they're headed with their curriculum and what they want to do when they graduate, some of their career interests. So not a lot of personal information. I don't want to know if they're married, have kids, their living arrangements. I don't want to know any of that.
Unless I feel personally inclined to answer a question or to like stand to like make something noticeable in class, I normally just kind of just keep to myself a little bit, and I feel that I wish I did sort of put on a more like attractive identity to the teacher.
A lot of times, like when I'm taking a class, like I have to bullshit being knowledgeable about the subject, so I will totally take on a different identity. But when it's something that I'm more used to, something I'm passionate about and understand, like I'm more comfortable in my own shoes, and therefore I can be myself.
Yeah, I definitely like usually I've always kind of been someone who likes to kind of do stuff on my own or whatever, so I kind of like have my sense of self as like really separate, and so I don't really adopt it maybe as much as some other people do, but at the same time, I mean, there's the way to think about that in which like that means I actually do, like that's just the one I'm adopting, is that kind of public view of myself that is not public. So, but I don't know, like
I guess like interests and like passions are different than like a situation that you are enduring outside of school.
Should the private self be ignored in school or only addressed to the extent that it does service or disservice to the public identity or agenda? Where is the line drawn? What does this mean for the relationship between teachers and students?
I think it really depends on what private life means, but in terms of how it relates to academic work, I think teachers should be informed of the prior work or prior lives that the students have in order to best accommodate them academically and accommodate them intellectually.
I don't think it should be like the teacher asking the students, like their routine at home or like their family dynamics.
I think that's really optional. It should come down to the student themselves. Like some teachers should probably be involved in private lives if the students want them to be and invite them to be, whereas like others might not.
They should be held to a standard where they are, where they can empathize with the student and understand that school isn't an expectation. It's more of like just how society has been.
John Dewey said, "The child has his own instincts and tendencies, but we do not know what these mean until we can translate them into their social equivalents," and emphasizes true education as a process of identifying a child's particular talent and then stimulating the child to conceive of himself from the standpoint of the welfare of the group to which he belongs. This made me immediately think about the conflict between the individual and needs of society. Even this extraction of child-specific interest, as it corresponds to a social equivalent, may not account for the complexity of their interior life and background. Is there any room for the private self in school?